You nailed it, Kirby. You nailed it. You nailed it. I had never had a doubt. I love this game. That sweet music. I could listen to that all day long. Welcome to the Promo UPFront Podcast, episode numero 3, or numero trace, if I was actually doing that properly. I am one of your hosts, Bill Petrie, with me as always, the other co-host of this fine program, the one and only Doctor of Hustle, Kirby Hasseman. Kirby, how are you today?
I am doing well, my friend. It's been a bit of a blur of a week. We were talking just a little bit before we started.
Yeah.
But I will say this is one of those things that having these conversations with you, catching up with you is part of the normalcy of my week.
Yeah.
That kind of grounds me a little bit. So when I get the chance to chat with my buddy Bill, it's a good time. So I'm doing well. How about you?
I'm doing great. I always look forward to it as well. And it has been a blur of a week as just wow. It's like I blinked and it was Thursday.
Yeah.
But it's been a good week. It's been a really good week. But something that's made me really happy this week, Kirby, and I don't know if you know this. Something's made me super happy this week.
What's that, Bill?
Thank you for knowing to ask. That'd be our good pals over at Gold Star Pens. They've really done the impossible. I mean, they really have. Yet they've really done the impossible. I've got one too. They've made simplicity easy, from design to ordering to delivery. They've made it as simple as possible for every distributor to sell writing instruments and the entire catalog of products that they have. Obviously, they're known for writing instruments. They've got a lot of other things too, a lot of other great products. And you know how much I love that Eversmooth ink. You usually click it. I know you're a big fan of the Gold Star pen. I just want it. They're such great people, and if you're looking for a writing instrument in our industry, your search begins and ends at Gold Star.
Well, I think, Bill, the thing I talk about all the time is our industry. I love it, but there are times where there's friction where there doesn't need to be friction. Yeah. And one of the things that Gold Star really does is reduce it. It's like you want full color, it's included. You want shipping, it's included. It's just it makes it so that the customer. Yeah, is like it makes it easy for you, but it also makes it easy for the customer, and so that's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, creating simplicity is one of the most difficult things you can do, and they have done that for everybody. So if you're interested in learning more, and gosh darn it, I think you should, head over to goldstarpens.com. I think you'll be happy you did. Now, Kirby, this is episode 3. Tomorrow is July 24th. Why don't we get this party started with some promo up front? It's your week to go. Let's do it. Let's light the candle. Let's jump the ship. Let's torpedo the submarines. I'm making up analogies as I go. Let's just go.
Let's jump the shark. All right. So, to be honest with you, I don't want this to be completely self-serving, but I want to give you and Kelsey and the team there at brandvocate some props. I mean, the reality of it is you have launched in the last week or so, brandvocate. And we talked about that last week. But, I think what you did this week has been sort of a social media coup, and you've done it using promo, right? Yep. You've created brandvocates. I have my little card that you sent out. There's a whole box of different swag that you obviously created very intentionally. You told us what we were supposed to do to help support you in the launch of that. You and Kelsey have done, a big piece of this is that you've taken the time to build those relationships and build a reputation and all that stuff in advance.
Right.
But it's been fun to watch on social media how people have supported you and quite frankly, how you've guided them and you've used promo to do it. And since that is what you would think we would all be good at, right, it's really cool to see a masterclass. So kudos, man.
Well, thank you. And unlike you, I do want to make this self-serving. So let's go ahead and do that. Because Kirby, we need clients, let's be honest. No, it's something that was a collective group. That we came up with this and came up with the promotional products that we sent out and trying to create, I hate the word tribe, but I can't think of another word. So tribe it is. in a group of about 25, 30 people, and who we know and are close to and hope would support us. There was a financial investment, to be sure. My blog post on Monday is going to kind of talk about what we did and how we put it together and how it all came together. So I don't want to crap on my own content I'm going to be creating, but it came together. It was a team effort. We have, such great friends and, people, Gold Star, we mentioned, SNS Activewear, Vault Promotions, great help. But it was a financial investment, and it was an intentional one. You have to, it's Charity who always comes to mind, Charity Gibson, when we talk about using promo to sell promo.
Yeah.
And we as an industry have historically done a completely piss poor job of that. We love telling our clients how to use promo. We don't want to use it ourselves. And so we really thought, and Kelsey and I sat down and thought about, okay, here's some possible products, and where do we get the shirt? What does the design look like? How do we get that out to people? How do we create a fun little activity every day for people? And I will tell you, the response has been nothing more than overwhelming. I am sure people are sick and tired of brandvocate, and I don't care. I really don't. We don't care.
You know what's been interesting, Bill, and I think, and maybe this was intentional, and you can tell me. My guess is no, but you can tell me if I'm wrong. But it's created a fun little competition between people online. It's all of a sudden, hey, you won the day. And Dana Zezzo created a great video for t-shirts, and Josh Robbins said he won the day. And I was like, that's bullshit.
Right.
I want to win the day.
Well, it's just amazing. Just the people who have just shown us the love. I didn't know how it was going to work out. And I'll be honest with you. I was, it's nervous. You spend X amount of dollars and there's shipping and
I hear you.
The products cost money. We did get some donated, not asked for, but just honestly volunteered, which we appreciated. And that was Gold Star. Honestly, they gave us the pens and did a beautiful job on matching our colors and everything. But we wanted to make it intentional. And, I think the most fun was starting off with that metal card where, you have your metal card, and everybody has their number. Yep. And everybody wants to know, how did we pick the numbers?
I haven't told anybody my number, by the way. Everybody,
I don't even know your number. What is your number?
Oh, you know my number.
Actually, I don't.
You do. It's number 4.
Okay. I'm number 2. Mm-hmm. Kelsey's number 1.
Yep. I figured that.
I was put in my place very quickly. And then honestly, we just got a wheel, like a wheel of fortune type thing online, and just pick people. Okay, it stopped here. So it's been a lot of fun. And so hopefully people will find us next time we see each other, and they'll get a drink, possibly.
Oh, I will find you.
Not to exceed $9.50. I'm going to be spending a lot of time in my room in Vegas this year. So,
I love it.
It's actually just been a ton of fun. I hope everybody's had as much fun with it as we have. I'm sure it's a little exhausting for people. We know we know some people. We've heard some people feel very left out, and that wasn't our intention. We have a budget. There's only so much we can spend. And
but one of the things I would say about that, Bill, I ran into that when I did the book launch.
Yeah.
Like, we talked about it, right? Yep. Like, it feels like you're everywhere. Yep. But the reality of it is we need to understand in the marketing business, like, we're showing people how to do it. Like, this is what it's supposed to look like. You're not supposed to hide your marketing. You're not supposed to hide your business launch. The idea that you're coming out of the gate, it really is a case study. It's a masterclass on how to do a product launch, a business launch, an initiative launch. And so kudos.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it. And thanks again for being brandvocate numero 4. All right, let's move on to the non-self-serving portion of this broadcast.
Okay.
So the ASI Counselor Awards from home were last night.
Good. I assumed we'd be talking about that.
So I'm not going to read all of them, but there's a couple that jumped out to me, and I did want to chat with you. The Lifetime Achievement Award, Marty Lott from Sanmar. What a great choice. That guy has done so much for the industry and so much building, from an apparel perspective, especially. I thought that was a great choice.
Yes, agreed. Yeah, well, again, I think it's one of those things where it's a great choice when like when you read the article, you're like, oh yeah, of course. Like,
Absolutely.
and that was exactly my response. It's like, oh, well,
Absolutely. Yeah. I always love the Family Business Awards. I always focus on those. Those are some of my favorites. So the Distributor Family Business of the Year was City Paper Company, which is a great distributor here in South. And then the Supplier Family Business of the Year was Jornik Manufacturing, great supplier. And I love those stories. If you have time, go read it. If you don't have time, make time and go read those articles about how these families really work together to not just build a business, but grow the business, maintain the business, and maintain the relationships within the business, which is not the easiest thing to do.
It's not the easiest thing to do. It's the hardest thing to do, actually. And the, I think in a world where we talk all the time about mergers and acquisitions and the big getting bigger and all that sort of thing, I think looking at those companies that are kind of doing it their way, the old Frank Sinatra thing, I think those are an inspiration to people like me to say that, hey, I can do this. I can be successful. I don't want to, you look at them and you say, okay, they're competing in a space that makes sense for them. They're creating a culture that works around them. They're not trying to compete with For Imprint. They're not trying to compete with those folks. They're creating their own niche, and I admire that as well. That's a good one.
Me too. Woman of distinction, Carol DeVille from the branding company. I've met her once or twice. I don't know a lot. I don't know her very well, but I know she's all very well respected. Love the article on her. Again, make time to read that. I don't know if you have any comments there, Kirby.
Nope. I don't know her, but again, these are all great people.
And then the two I really wanted to focus on were the Supplier Entrepreneur of the Year, Ryan Moore from Allmade. I met Ryan a little over a year ago, about a year and a half ago. We both spoke at the inaugural Shirt Lab Live event in Columbus, Ohio. And what a dynamo this guy is. And he's probably 35, so it makes me feel like I'm 90. And, he's just bright. From everything he does is just bright. And I always am drawn to that. I thought it was a tremendous choice, just tremendous choice.
Yeah, I agree 100% on that. And so yes, totally bright. To me, he very quickly became sort of a celebrity in our industry, speaking at different conferences and all that sort of thing. But what struck me is how, again, I don't know him that well, but when I speak to him, he knows me. He seems super genuine, and the idea that he is doing something that he's passionate about, that's so super inspirational. So
it really is. It's all super good stuff. And then last one, which is probably the one we're waiting to talk about, the Person of the Year, Joanne Lance, the first person, I think either in 5 or 6 generations, but the first person ever without the Geiger last name to be president and CEO of that organization. She's been in our industry for a long time. And I mean that as a mention of respect, not a mention of any sort of age. She is a lioness of this industry. And I was surprised she hadn't won it before.
Again, same concept that I said when they said Marty Lott, when they said Joanne Lance was the person of the year. I was like, well, yeah, of course. I think that it actually does speak to her being a lioness, that she's been named that person in charge of Geiger. Right. That they had, that's such a mountain of responsibility to take over a family run business like that and do it with such grace. So yeah, I think that's a tremendous choice. And those are the kind of things that, to be honest with you, Bill, I get excited when we're going to do a podcast like this and talk about this kind of thing.
It's fun.
Yeah. I mean, you and I think we enjoy being snarky. I think we enjoy having a smart ass comment every now and then, but the thing that, not you, of course, me. But when we talk about the women leaders in our community and different, positive things that go on in our industry, those excite me when I know we're going to talk about it. And Joanne being named Person of the Year is one of those. So,
and ASI, it should not go unmentioned. What a great job that they did. Again, making, when life gives you, I've always hated the phrase, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. I've more of, what I'm saying.
No, really quickly. Yeah. What's funny about this is you come on this podcast and tell me, I hate the word tribes, but I'm going to use this word tribes.
Yeah.
And I hate it when we use lemon and lemonade, but I'm going to talk about that.
Well, I know I'm changing that one. Okay. So when life gives you lemons, ask for limes instead. I've always had that philosophy where if you get a shit burger of a situation, you can choose to plow through it. Sometimes that is the right thing, but sometimes it's right to just say, that's not going to work. This will. It may not be as great as this might have been, but it might be better. So that's all I was saying. So,
no, sorry.
but no, I don't care. I'm just glad people can hear me.
Yeah.
But seriously, I really think that the ASI has done such a tremendous job, and just fantastic. So
yeah, that's good. That's good.
So real quick, before we head out to the next topic, which is yours, I'm going to talk about the product of the week, which I happen to be wearing right now. That would be the really soft. I'm trying to annoy as many people with my logo this week, with our logo this week, with the whole brandvocate thing this week. But it is such a great. I'm getting choked up. I love the shirt so much. It's the Bell and Canvas 3001 in charcoal. It's that soft tri-blend. It is officially my favorite t-shirt, even if it didn't have the logo on it.
Yeah. Well, what I like about the 3001, and I've become a nerd about t-shirts in the last few years, is if you would have sent me a not soft t-shirt, I would have worn it because we're friends.
Right.
But that's going to make it in my closet, and I'm going to wear it on a regular basis. And what I like about the 3001 is it's a tri-blend, but it's an affordable one.
Yeah.
You've got, like it's one that you can actually compete with some of the lower grade t-shirts and still do a tri-blend. So that's a good one.
And SNS Activewear does a great job with them. So that's my favorite promotional product this week. Kirby, what are you talking about next? What are we talking about next?
Yeah. So I want to talk a little bit about the online conferences.
Okay.
So in the shift that has happened, obviously in-person events have kind of gone by the wayside, at least for the time being. Yeah. And I've been so intrigued. And I'm just going to name a couple. Okay. But I've been intrigued to see different organizations going online and trying to be creative and trying to still create value. In the next week or so, we've got Gap that's doing 4 different days.
And you're speaking at that, are you not?
I am. Okay. I'm speaking twice at I think it's next week that I'll be speaking those.
Yep.
The ones it's like the OG, it's the Wild Wednesday webinar. Those have been going on for a long time. So the blatant self-promotion, I'll be doing that one too.
I'm doing that one next month too.
Yeah, I love it. Common SKU has now done 2. They had the SKUCon at home and now Common SKU University. And then Spark is doing sort of online an online virtual Spark. And so I'm curious to know sort of your take on it. Have you attended some of these? What's been your take on it? What's been your takeaway? Do you see more of this happening? Just kind of quick discussion about that.
Yeah. And I had kind of this topic as well. So, which means I'm quasi prepared for it. I think it's going to be around for a while, obviously, because it's kind of, we're in such unknown territory. And I think companies have done such a really nice job, again, making, asking for limes when they've been given lemons, and making the best out of the situation. It's not ideal. It's not, and it never probably will be. But here's what I will say, and I don't think people think or talk about this enough. Because there's, sometimes those conferences just attending them can be a little intimidating. First of all, they can be cost prohibitive, just travel perspective. It can be intimidating because maybe, there are people, I've walked into rooms and felt very inadequate at times. It happens all the time. And so what that does, having it kind of in the safety of my own home, nobody's looking at me, nobody's wondering what I'm taking notes. I can actually just sit and focus on the content. So I think it's actually opened up the doors a little bit to people who may not have attended those conferences before.
I agree.
SKUCon's a great example. Spark at Home's great example. Spark at Home. Spark has been very focused on a specific age group, and they opened it up for everybody this year, which I thought was a brilliant move by the Spark Work Group and PPAI. I know the Georgia Association of Promotional Products Professionals, where you're doing, that's next week, I believe. You think you said that?
Yep.
And, they've opened it up to the entire industry. And so you don't have to be a member of GAP to attend.
Yeah.
And so, what you're seeing is not only are people making that change from, okay, we did it this way forever. Now we can't do it that. We're not allowed to do it that way. So change has been forced upon us. How do we move forward? How do we do something different? And so what it's really kind of shrunk in the world a little bit, shrunk in the industry a little bit. And I really kind of dig that, to be honest with you.
Yeah. And one of the things that I was thinking about, and I like that you brought that up, that the gate comes down so that people who might not have been able to, or even wanted to, there are people who, I think of a guy who's in the industry in my county who he's like, I hate Vegas.
Yeah.
I'm not going there.
Yeah.
And so for whatever reason, they weren't able to attend, and now they are. And so I like that. The other thing I'd say is, sometimes in-person events, and I talked about this before, they can be overwhelming. It's almost like so many ideas that you don't have any. And so I, over the last couple of years, have said, look, if I come away from an event with one idea, that's a solid idea that I can take back to my business, it's a success, right? Yeah. Well, I went to the Common University this past, and I've made a bunch of notes, but the next day I'm like, oh, this is an idea that I have that I got from the conference that I am implementing today. And it's like, if I do that from this office or from Vegas, it's a win either way. And so I think that's a good thing.
No, I think great topic to bring up. And like I said, I kind of had it too. So let me ask you, okay, I've got one or two directions to go here. All right. I'm going to go nice. Oh, this way?
Yeah, that way.
ASI, boy, they're killing it on our podcast this week because their food bank drive was complete. I don't know if you saw this. They raised over $100,000 towards domestic hunger relief efforts. Wow. And that $100,000 is going to provide about 1 million meals to children, families, and elderly through their ASI Cares Foundation. And what ASI did, every dollar they donated up to $50,000 was matched. And so what a great thing that they've done. It's a very short, quick hit thing, but there's so much negativity and there's so much just ickiness. I don't mind taking 3 minutes just to say, ASI, kudos to you, Tim Andrews, Michelle Bell, Andy Coe, Vin Driscoll, the entire team at ASI. Just wow. Please keep doing things like that. That is not only just, it makes a difference, it's inspirational, and hopefully it'll inspire others to do the same thing.
It's so funny. It was literally where I was going to go, is to say that it's not only the impact that you have, it's the impact that you inspire other people to have. And so kudos. I love it. Thank you so much.
Yep. You're up.
Okay. So again, I have a couple different, okay. So I have an old laptop computer. By old,
I do. 7 years old, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Bordering on 8. So So I have kind of limped along, and I finally made the choice. I finally was like, okay, I went online. I was going back and forth between like an iMac, which is a bigger, and a MacBook Pro.
Right.
Long story short, I landed on the MacBook Pro. I ordered it, and on the website it said, hey, this could deliver on Tuesday.
Right.
Now, I know this now, but, in the mindset, I made an upgrade to the hard drive space. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, it's delivering between the 7th and the 14th of August. And I was like, what happened? And so it's funny because it took me 6 months to make the decision to purchase this. And the moment I purchased it, I wanted it tomorrow. And I think that there's a parallel to our industry here. So I think that I'm consistent with many buyers these days. And I think that understanding those expectations has become kind of paramount in managing the customer experience. And I just had that sort of introspective moment about myself this morning.
Yeah. We've all become exquisitely impatient. I've said it on in talks I give and things like that. Amazon has done such a great job of ruining us.
That's right.
I assume if I buy something online from you but it doesn't come in 2 days and the shipping's expensive and I don't get tracking numbers right away, I assume your shit's broken. Yeah. I do. I'm sorry. I just do. And so I totally get that, managing your expectations. So it's an important thing to do. And it's an important actually lesson for all of us to do. It's the old under promise and over deliver.
Yeah. Because I realized after the fact that I'm the consumer. It was my fault. I made the change. Had I ordered what was on the shelf, I probably could have gotten it in a couple days, right?
Yeah.
But on the other side, like I think the lesson for us is over communicate, right? Mm-hmm. Because had I gotten an email saying, hey, this is a special order, this is blah, 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 or hey, here's where we're at on this. If you just go, hey, it's going to be a month,
Yeah.
Like, and I haven't heard anything since. It changed. Like, my experience just changes. And this is Apple.
Yeah.
Right?
No, I get it. That's
Cool.
managing expectations in any business. Pretty important.
Pretty
good.
Yeah.
You know what else is important, Kirby? We're at the party in the back section of the podcast. I've got a new game for us. I'm coming up with a new game. I want to start changing stuff up. So what we're going to play is the name game, Kirby.
Ooh, okay.
And so I'm going to give you a first name.
Okay.
You're going to give me the last name. Whatever person pops in your head, they can be in the industry, they can be out of the industry, and why that person was the one that popped in your head. And honestly, no BS. There are no wrong answers because I have no idea what we're doing.
I don't know what's happening, so sure.
So I'm going to say the first one, Howard.
Cosell.
Okay, why?
I think that number one, I mean, you could go Stern, but in the interest of transparency, it's literally, we've been doing some semblance of a podcast for a long time. And so one of the things I've learned, and again,
that's what came to my mind.
Yeah. And Howard Stern is great, but I think it's one of those, what's the first thing that pops into your head? I've been a broadcasting fan since I was a young boy. I've been a football fan since I was a young boy.
Enough.
And one of the people who sort of transcended sports was Howard.
Yes. All right. Sam.
Sneed. That's who popped into my head.
The
Apparently I'm
golfer from
100.
the 60s?
Apparently I'm 100.
Again, this can be in the industry too.
Doesn't matter. I know, but that's
okay.
Well, okay. So the first person.
No,
wait.
It's no.
Kate's.
Sneed. Fine. It can be in or out. Just I want the first person that pops in your head. I just thought this would be a fun little exercise.
Yeah, no, I'm enjoying it.
I don't know if anybody else is. Jeff
Solomon.
Okay, Jeff Solomon. Why Jeff Solomon?
I think Jeff has done a pretty good job of kind of creating his own little niche in our industry. He's got that new podcast, which with Jay Buscelli, and so he's built a brand.
He has, and he is one of the originators of content in this industry.
100%. I agree.
He didn't get enough credit for that. Brian
from EMT.
Oh, Brian Stidham.
Yeah, Brian Stidham. But literally, in my vernacular, his last name is from EMT. No, I mean, amazing photographer. Like, again, great guy. And when you say Brian, that's who popped in my head.
Okay, Janet
McMaster.
Yes.
Janet.
She's awesome.
Yeah, you remember this, I know, just because we're good buddies. But I was invited to speak at the Geiger Galleria many years ago.
Yeah, in Arizona, if I remember correctly.
And it was a weird thing for a distributor to be invited to speak at another distributor's. I thought it was a very forward-thinking thing for Geiger to do, and Janet made that happen, and I still appreciate that.
Awesome. All right. Brittany.
Not Spears. Godsey, I guess, is where I'm going to go. Brittany, I think Brittany has done such an amazing job of creating sort of an Instagram kind of audience.
Yep.
She is one of those people who, she just has entertaining stuff and she has a great personality, but I think it's a masterclass on Instagram.
Yeah. And what's interesting is she is really just focused. That's her social media presence. Nothing on Facebook, nothing on Twitter, all on Instagram. And I really love that.
Yep.
All right. Dana.
Zezo.
Okay. Why?
And again, he's the OG. Dana is, one of my best friends in the industry, and he's taught me so much. I actually love, and I'll bring it up, the t-shirt piece that he did. It was one of those where I'm like, I had a little post, this person had a post, and then Dana swoops in and is like, oh, really? Well, then mic drop. He's still the king.
And we have to mention Brett Schaefer with the can cooler on Wednesday with his whole video ode to Fast Times at Ridgemont High with the water. That was great. Yeah. All right. 3 more.
Okay.
David.
Blaze.
Okay.
Yeah.
Again, David Blaze.
Yeah. Again, one of those guys that has been a trainer and sort of like someone who's helped raise the industry for a long time.
Awesome. All right. Meg
Erber is.
Are you just saying that because she can kick your ass?
My feeling about Meg is that I could outrun her. But
I don't have that feeling. I am always very nice to Meg.
Yeah, no. You know what? I actually think that I've seen with Meg is that she has raised her sort of personal brand. She's put herself in places where I don't think she was originally super comfortable, whether it be video, podcasting, and I always admire that.
Yeah, no. And last one, Eddie
Van Halen.
Who else? Yes, yes, yes. You nailed it, Kirby. You nailed it. You nailed it. I had never had a doubt. I love this game. Woo! Yeah!
I know what the open's going to be.
Yeah. You did. You are my hero. Yes. You know who else is my hero, Kirby?
Who's that, Bill?
That'd be my good pals at Gold Star Pens. Woo! Because I love me some Eversmooth Ink. They've made ordering pens and their entire catalog of products simple. That's not easy to do, folks. They've made it simple. And so you want to learn more. You want to make yourself look good for your customers. You want to make your customers look good to their end user customers. It's making everybody look good. Not that hard. You just go to goldstarpens.com, make a few clicks, make a few purchases, make a few bucks. But that's what we're talking about here on the Promo UPFront Podcast. Kirby, I am so happy. I am so fired up that you just nailed this new game. I didn't even know. I am beside myself. Woo!
That's right!